Today we are going to be talking about rhythm games, you know, the ones that make you tap your feet to the beat, I guess. I mean, come on, it's just pressing some buttons to the beat. How hard can it be? Really hard. I was under the impression that I sucked at rhythm games. I tried playing Osu and was absolutely horrible at it. I have of course played my fair share of DDR and Guitar Hero in the past, but to be honest, I was never that great at those either. I have no musical talent, so my ability to keep a rhythm or follow a beat is almost non-existent. So, what did I do about it? Basically, I wanted to test myself. So when I saw this, what I assumed to be a cute little artsy rhythm game on Steam for $1.30, I was like, hey, what if I played this game every single day for a week and see how I improve? And honestly, I surprised myself. So before I talk more about the challenge that I went through, let's talk about Muse Dash. Muse Dash is an incredibly cute and stylized 2-lane rhythm game created by the company Pero Games. It has got a ton of really fun and cute characters at first that are the base skins of the game. But then, as you unlock more and more of the skins, they become more lewd. Way too spooky for my simple-minded brain. But I digress. And I mean, even when you're playing the game, the overly sexualized characters turn into these cute little chibi versions of themselves, and they even have their own special abilities that will benefit you throughout the game. You also have these little elfins that follow you around, and then they also have the fun special abilities. My favorite is this cute little cat boy with the helicopter. He's just so cute. The art in the game is incredibly stylized and looks amazing when you're playing. The game is fun, and the art is cute. That's basically what I'm just trying to say here. The game also has a level up system to ease you into the harder tracks and helps you along when you unlock all the new buddies and the characters. Some of the characters having more difficult gimmicks, so the unlocking of the characters works really well. It doesn't take that long even to unlock everything, and I pretty much had it all unlocked at about 6 to 8 hours into the game. But let's talk about a couple of the problems that I faced when playing this game. One of the big ones was visual clarity. With the game being extremely stylized, when I first started playing, everything could get a little muddled and confusing. But I guess when I got better at the game, that kind of went away, so maybe it was just my lack of skill or something else, I'm not quite sure. The second thing is more so my own gripe with the game. Some of the tracks just weren't my thing. A lot of them were, but there were a lot that weren't. And maybe I'm just a simple-minded American who can't listen to music outside of his own country, but it still had some great tracks to play, and even just fun tracks that I didn't enjoy listening to, but playing through the maps was enjoyable at least. Alright, let's talk more so about the gameplay. As I said before, the game is a 2-lane rhythm game, but the developers did a wonderful job with these maps to make them incredibly unique and keep you on your toes. Even though you can play the game with 2 fingers, some of these levels will make you feel like you need 20. To be honest, the game becomes 10 times easier to play once you learn how to use 4 fingers, but I will talk about that a little later in the video. Well, I've gone over Muse Dash and what I enjoyed, so let's get on to the challenge. Also, just a quick heads up, even towards the end of the footage in the later days, none of it's really perfect gameplay because I'm still not even close to being the best at this game. Like I said before, I have had almost no experience with the rhythm game genre other than my brief trials at Osu and my experience of playing DDR and Guitar Hero as a kid, so playing this game was slightly intimidating at first. So, starting off the first day, I played a lot more of the simple tracks on easy to get a feel for how the game played. I was surprised at how much fun I had and how quickly I was able to get a hang of the game. The one thing that I really struggled with on the first day was the use of the sliders, and then including multiple notes while holding down those sliders. For some reason, it was just my reaction to let go of the note to hit the other ones. Not sure what prompted me to do this, but it was something that I struggled with for most of this week. I started to feel more comfortable with the controls and moved on to playing some of the harder versions of the maps. On day 2, I started to get really comfortable with most of the maps and the controls on the harder versions. I felt really comfortable doing anything with the 5-star label and had a blast making my way through most of the maps at the beginning. I then bought the DLC, but honestly, to enjoy the game, you don't have to do this. The base tracks that they give you are honestly really fun to play, but I just wanted some more tracks. I still really struggled with anything over a 6-star map, but then I finally completed my first 6-star on a S on day 2, and I felt really comfortable with my progression and being able to read maps better. Day 3 honestly wasn't really anything special because I had some real life stuff going on, so I really only played about 30 minutes of the game that day. But I really started to feel more comfortable with doing 7-star maps, and I even completed my first 8-star even though it was just a B. I really felt like I was starting to get more comfortable with the controls of the game, and it felt rewarding to be able to do these things that I wasn't able to do before. On day 4, I really cracked down on myself, and I tried to learn how to properly use 4 fingers when playing the game. During the tutorial of the game, it prompts you to use the F and J keys to hit the notes, but you can also use the K and D keys as well. So when there's this long string of notes one after the other, it's actually far easier to hit them when rotating in between the 2 buttons instead of just trying to mash one really fast. I really only tried to use 4 fingers on the easier tracks to get used to it, and it started to feel way more comfortable at the end of the day. I was able to do some of the 8 stars and get A's on them, and it felt really good. I was really getting comfortable with the controls of the game and being able to read the notes before they even reached my character. On day 5, this was the day that I forced myself to actually really use 4 fingers. I pretty much got used to being able to use the 4 fingers, especially when tapping notes one after the other in the same lane. I began to feel really confident in how I was playing, and it felt good to be able to do all the tracks that I wasn't able to before. I was able to get my first 9-star completion, and it felt good, even though it was just a B. This game really started growing on me, and I loved just hopping on and playing for 30 or so minutes throughout the day, on and off. I really felt myself growing as a player and becoming better at what I was doing. I could FC almost every 6-star track that I touched, and I felt way more confident on 7 and even 8-star tracks. Day 5 was just a really good day for me. On day 6 was the day that I started to play a lot of the harder tracks. I felt uncomfortable enough after the day prior and a little bit of practice, and I played a ton of 9-star and 8-star tracks. I enjoyed myself more as I began to push myself and really challenge what I was able to do. I played through some of my favorite songs over and over and over and just had a great time. I achieved my first ever 8-star FC, and that was something that I was really proud of. Day 6 was the day that I really became confident in my skills at the game, and even if I was just okay, it felt great to be able to play some of these harder maps. Day 7 was the final day and the final challenge. I put myself up to a 10-star track, and I did it. It felt great. It was so difficult. Some of these tracks are just insane, but it felt so good to be able to complete the hardest level of what I know. Maybe there might be an 11-star, but I haven't unlocked it yet. After I finished that 10-star track, it just kind of became a chill day for me. I went back and played a lot of the previous maps that I struggled with on days 1 through 4 and could clear them or even FC them with ease. This is something about rhythm games that I really started to appreciate. There's a really good measurement of skill when it comes to these games. Of course, not all the maps are ranked evenly. Some 6 stars, at least to me, felt way more difficult than other 6 stars. But I feel like Muse Dash did a pretty good job with all of it. It just felt so good to go back and play all these tracks that I struggled with before and just whip right through all of them. I played through a couple of the harder tracks and got some FCs on some 7 stars that I've been wanting to, but I was just much more relaxed and just a way more fun day, where I could go back and play some of my favorite tracks one more time. Speaking of favorite tracks, here are some of my favorites. Mid Street Jam was a jam. It's such a good track. Totally go check it out when you play. Lights of Muse, upbeat and fun. Tiny Lady, just another upbeat and fun track to go through. Halcyon, I think that's how it's pronounced. Really great track. Go and try it out. 100% recommend. Cotton Candy Wonderland is another phenomenal track that I would totally recommend anyone to go and check out. Another great one is Milk. And then my last 2 favorites are probably The Last Page and Moonlight Banquet. Moonlight Banquet is just fun, and I might be biased because it was the first 8-star FC, but I totally recommend it. Overall, this was a really fun experience and experiment that I did, and I just had a great time. Rhythm games were never my thing, but after all of this, I can see myself venturing out and to play some more. So if you know any of them, just let me know in the comments. Muse Dash was a cute and fun experience, and if you're new to rhythm games, I totally recommend this to you, and you should definitely go check it out. For me at least, it was way less intimidating than some of the most popular titles today for rhythm games. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and if you want to see more like this, let me know, and click that tiny little subscribe button in the bottom right. I hope you're all staying safe, and have a wonderful day.